I caught my boyfriend kissing my mom right in my living room. I still remember that moment like it happened yesterday. My heart stopped, my hands shook. I couldn't breathe. Saam, the man I loved, was leaning close to Stella, my mom, and their lips met. I just stood there, frozen, staring at the scene that no daughter should ever see. Everything I thought I knew about my life, my love, my family shattered in a single instant. The two people I trusted the most had betrayed me in a way I never imagined. My stomach hurt, my chest felt like it was about to explode. Every memory of happiness I had built with Saam turned into a lie in my head. I wanted to scream, I wanted to run, but I couldn't. My mind raced, trying to find some excuse, some reason, some way to make sense of what I was seeing, but there was no explanation. They had been hiding this from me for months, maybe even longer, and now, there it was. The truth, in all its raw, painful reality. I felt tears burning my eyes. I felt anger, confusion, sadness, and betrayal all at once. I had loved Saam with everything I had. I had trusted my mom, Stella, completely, and both of them had used that trust to hurt me in the worst possible way. Before that moment, I thought my life was perfect. Saam and I had been together for 5 years, and everyone, including my friends and family, thought we were the perfect couple. He was kind, thoughtful, and always made me feel special. Birthdays, small surprises, late-night calls. He remembered everything. I had believed our love was unshakable. Stella, my mom, had always been supportive. She helped me through difficult times, gave advice when I needed it, and I trusted her like no one else. I admired her. I confided in her. I thought of her as my safe place, and now the trust had been completely shattered. Even small things that I had ignored suddenly made sense. Saam's secret messages, his late-night calls, Stella's lingering looks, the excuses they made to spend time together. All the signs I had brushed off as paranoia or coincidence were actually pieces of a carefully hidden betrayal. The living room felt smaller. The lights, the shadows, the quiet hum of the air conditioner. Everything became part of the scene of my heartbreak. Saam's hand rested lightly on Stella's back as they laughed and whispered, and then the kiss. That kiss hit me harder than anything I had ever felt. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to step in, scream, confront them, but my legs refused to move. My body was frozen, and then something inside me snapped. I realized I had two choices. I could let this betrayal destroy me, or I could rise above it and take control. It was in that moment, as the shock settled into my chest and the world felt like it was spinning, that I introduced myself silently to myself, as if stating it out loud could ground me in reality. Hi, my name is Sabrina. This is my story. I am 32 years old, and what happened to me shattered everything I thought I knew about love and family. From that instant, clarity began to form. I would not be a victim. I would observe, gather proof, and confront them when the time was right. I would not let them win. Over the next few days, I started noticing more signs of the betrayal. Little things I had missed before suddenly made sense. Saam's nervous glances at his phone, Stella's sudden need to check on me, moments when I thought they were being innocent but were actually hiding something. I began watching, listening, and paying attention in ways I had never needed to before. Every message, every subtle interaction became a clue. I started keeping track of everything, screenshots, notes, anything that could prove the truth. I knew I needed proof, undeniable proof. I couldn't confront them without it. At night, I lay awake thinking about every moment, every memory, every word they had said. My heart ached, but my mind was focused. I couldn't let heartbreak cloud my judgment. I had to be smart, careful, and patient. I also reflected on myself during these moments. I was 32, strong, independent, and I had always trusted my instincts. And yet, I had been blind. I had loved, trusted, and believed in people who had used that trust to hurt me. But I promised myself that I would not let that define me. I would rise from this betrayal stronger than ever. I started imagining the steps I would take, how I would gather the full truth, how I would ensure that Saam and Stella could not deny it. I wanted the betrayal to have consequences, not just for them, but for me. I wanted to reclaim my life, my power, and my dignity. Even simple interactions became charged with tension. Every word Saam said, every smile Stella gave, now seemed loaded with meaning. I watched and analyzed, learning how they hid their secret and where their weaknesses lay. Anger and pain fueled me, but clarity guided me. I knew I had to remain calm in front of them. I couldn't let suspicion show. I had to appear normal, while quietly preparing for the moment I would reveal the truth. That moment would be mine, and it would change everything. The betrayal was so personal, it felt like a punch to the soul. I had trusted Saam with my heart, Stella with my life, and both had taken that trust and turned it into a weapon. But in the midst of this, I also realized something. I had the power to control the outcome. I could let this destroy me, or I could turn it into strength. From that day on, I was careful, observant, and patient. I watched, I noted, and I documented every suspicious action. Saam and Stella continued their routine, unaware that I knew. I had the element of surprise, and I intended to use it. My emotions were storm, heartbreak, anger, disbelief, but slowly, that storm transformed into determination. I would not be the victim of their betrayal. I would expose the truth, show them the consequences, and reclaim my life. Every tear I shed, every pang of sadness, every sleepless night became fuel. I reminded myself that I was 32, strong, beautiful, intelligent, and capable of handling this. And I would. After days of quiet observation, I knew I couldn't ignore the signs anymore. The glances, the secret smiles, the unexplained moments, everything pointed to what I had feared. My heart told me to leave it alone, to pretend I didn't see, but my mind demanded the truth. I needed proof, undeniable proof, so I could face reality and stop doubting myself. It started with Saam's phone. I had noticed him leaving it unlocked at times, placing it down on the counter while he pretended to be busy elsewhere. My hands trembled as I picked it up. I knew this could be the moment that changed everything. My chest tightened, my heart raced. When I opened the messages between him and Stella, the words hit me like a hammer. Flirtatious, intimate, secret conversations that left no doubt. They weren't just friends, they were betraying me. Every word confirmed what I had been sensing for months. Tears stung my eyes. My stomach churned. I sank to the kitchen floor, phone clutched in my hands. The reality was unbearable. Saam, the man I had loved, trusted, and planned my life with, had been hiding this, and Stella, my own mom, had been complicit. The betrayal was so deep it felt like my chest had been pierced. I started looking for more proof. I needed photos, messages, anything that confirmed their meetings. And then I found them. Pictures of Saam and Stella together, smiling, holding hands, touching each other intimately. My knees buckled. I couldn't breathe. Each photo stabbed me with a sharper pain than the one before. I kept telling myself it couldn't be real, that I must be imagining things, but the evidence was right there. My perfect life, my love story, my family, all lies. I cried silently, shaking uncontrollably. How could they do this? How could they betray me in such a personal, cruel way? But amid the tears, a spark of determination flickered. I realized that while they had my trust, they did not have my power. I could gather all the proof I needed, observe every interaction, and when the time was right, confront them. I would not be a victim. I would turn this heartbreak into strength. I began documenting everything. Every message, every photo, every hidden glance or meeting. I kept a careful log. My outward behavior remained calm, friendly and unsuspecting, but inside, I was quietly preparing for the moment I would expose them. Even the smallest interactions began to take on new meaning. Saam would leave the room for vague reasons. Stella would check on me or suggest errands at odd times. Each moment they thought was hidden became a piece of my puzzle. My emotions were raw, but my mind was calculating. I realized I needed to control the narrative. I couldn't let my anger or heartbreak show. I had to remain composed, appear normal, and patiently collect every shred of evidence. The day I revealed the truth would be mine, and I would be ready. One evening, I followed Saam secretly after he said he was meeting a client. I saw him drive to a quiet park near Stella's apartment. My heart pounded as I waited in my car, camera ready. And then I saw it. Stella emerged, smiling, laughing, their hands brushing together. The intimacy was undeniable. My stomach churned. My mind screamed, but my body was still. This was it. I had everything I needed. Every secret meeting, every lie, every hidden glance, all documented, and I knew I couldn't act recklessly. I needed a plan. The nights were the hardest. I lay awake thinking, replaying memories of Saam's smiles, his reassurances, Stella's warmth and support. How had I missed the signs? How could I have been so blind? And yet, Amidst the heartbreak, I felt clarity. I could let this destroy me, or I could rise stronger than ever. I began mapping out my plan. I would confront them with undeniable evidence. I would make sure the betrayal was exposed publicly, personally, or both. I would reclaim my life and dignity. I would show them that betrayal cannot destroy someone with strength, intelligence, and determination. I also reflected on myself. I was 32, strong, independent, and capable of handling this. I had always trusted my instincts, and now I realized I needed to trust them even more. The heartbreak was sharp, but it could be channeled into focus. Every tear I shed became fuel for my resolve. The betrayal was a storm, but I would be the calm at its center. I would watch, wait, and plan. Saam and Stella thought they were clever, but I had patience, proof, and clarity on my side. The balance of power was shifting whether they realized it or not. I even began to anticipate their mistakes. Small slips, casual mentions, overconfidence in their secrecy, I noted it all. Every interaction became a tool in my strategy. I would confront them not in anger, but with precision, with undeniable proof. As I documented their lies, I also began imagining the confrontation. I would face Saam and Stella calmly, but with the force of truth behind me. They would not deny it. They could not hide. And I would emerge stronger, unbroken, and in control. The emotional collapse was intense. I cried, screamed in private, questioned my judgment, my love, my family. The betrayal cut so deep that sleep became impossible. Yet even in the darkest moments, a determination formed. I was not powerless. I was not a victim. I was Sabrina, and this was my story. I promised myself that this betrayal would not define me. I would take control, expose the truth, and reclaim everything they tried to steal. My strength, my dignity, and my life would remain mine. From that moment, I became methodical. Every message, every photo, every secret meeting, I gathered, saved, and analyzed. Saam and Stella continued their routines, unaware that I had discovered everything. I had patience, proof, and focus. And the day of confrontation was approaching. I knew this was only the beginning. Emotional collapse had turned into empowerment. Heartbreak had turned into strategy. I had the evidence, the plan, and the clarity. And when the time came, they would see that betrayal could not destroy someone like me. The moment I realized I had undeniable proof, a cold clarity settled over me. The heartbreak still burned, but I knew I had the upper hand. Saam and Stella had underestimated me. They thought their secret was safe, that I would never notice, never act. They were wrong. I started planning carefully. I couldn't let anger cloud my judgment. I needed a strategy. Subtle, precise, and undeniable. My goal was simple: expose them, reclaim my power, and make sure they could not undo the damage they caused. I began by creating a timeline of everything I had discovered. Every message, photo, meeting, and suspicious behavior was documented. I printed some of the photos, saved screenshots, and even recorded some conversations where they slipped. I wanted evidence they could not deny. My patience was becoming my weapon. At the same time, I started observing their routines closely. Saam thought I was still oblivious. Stella assumed I trusted her blindly. They were careless, overconfident, and that overconfidence would be their downfall. Every small detail I gathered would strengthen my plan. I needed the confrontation to have maximum impact. It couldn't just be a private accusation. It had to be public enough that they would feel the consequences. I thought about friends, family, and people who trusted me. Their reactions would amplify the truth and ensure the betrayal could never be hidden again. The first step was subtle. I started asking questions casually, checking for inconsistencies. Saam's excuses started to crumble under the weight of my quiet scrutiny. Stella's stories didn't match up anymore. I remained calm, collected, pretending everything was normal. Inside, I was counting down the moments until I could act. One evening, I decided it was time for a small test. I asked Saam to show me something on his phone, pretending curiosity. His hand shook slightly, his face tensed. That was enough. I knew he was nervous because he had been caught. It was a small victory, but it strengthened my resolve. I then confronted Stella indirectly, asking innocuous questions that forced her to slip. She hesitated, faltered, gave vague answers. Each small slip confirmed what I already knew. I had evidence, yes, but watching them stumble under my quiet pressure was almost as satisfying. With all this preparation, I began setting the stage for the full reveal. I invited a few close friends over, people I trusted, under the guise of a small dinner. Everything had to seem normal. Laughter, casual conversation, no hint of tension. Saam and Stella walked in unsuspecting, confident in their deceit. I waited for the perfect moment. As the conversation flowed, I casually brought up topics that I knew would rattle them. Little comments about trust, honesty, and the fragility of relationships. They exchanged glances, confused, unaware of the storm brewing around them. Then I slowly revealed what I had discovered. First, the messages, screenshots neatly displayed on my phone. Their expressions changed instantly. Shock, panic, denial. I remained calm, narrating each piece of evidence with precision, every lie they had told, every secret meeting, every betrayal. I laid it bare. Saam's face turned pale, Stella's eyes widened in disbelief, panic creeping in. Their composure, so carefully maintained for months, crumbled under the weight of truth. I could see the fear in their eyes, and it fueled me. I was no longer the victim. I was the one holding the power. Friends listened, stunned, as I narrated the timeline of deception. I spoke slowly, clearly, with emotion, but without hysteria. I wanted the truth to land with force, unshakable, undeniable. Each revelation made Saam and Stella squirm. I saw guilt, shame, and panic etched across their faces. It wasn't about revenge for its own sake. It was about reclaiming my life and dignity. They had tried to steal that from me, but I was taking it back. Every betrayal they thought would remain hidden was now exposed in front of the people who mattered. After the initial shock, Saam tried to explain, to deny, to manipulate. But I had anticipated every excuse. I calmly countered, using evidence, showing timelines, screenshots, and photos. Stella tried to cry, to plead, to justify herself, but there was no justification for the betrayal. For the first time in weeks, I felt a strange sense of peace. I was no longer overwhelmed by heartbreak. The storm had transformed into clarity and control. I had observed, planned, and executed. I had taken power back from those who tried to destroy me. Even after the confrontation, I remained vigilant. I documented reactions, ensured everyone who needed to know had evidence. My emotional collapse had turned into a disciplined pursuit of justice, personal empowerment, and reclaiming control. The days that followed were tense. Saam and Stella avoided me, whispered behind closed doors, and tried to maintain appearances, but I knew the truth was out. Their fear, guilt, and shame became a reflection of my strength. I was untouchable, grounded in reality and in control. I also reflected on myself. I had been betrayed, yes, but I had also discovered a strength I didn't know I had. I had navigated heartbreak, emotional turmoil, and betrayal with intelligence, strategy, and patience. I had exposed the truth without losing my composure. I had reclaimed my life. The revenge wasn't about cruelty, it was about restoring balance, showing that betrayal has consequences, and demonstrating that I would not allow anyone to manipulate or destroy me. Each step I took was calculated, deliberate, and empowering. Even in quiet moments, I felt the change within me. The pain had forged resilience. The heartbreak had created clarity. The betrayal had ignited determination. I was no longer just Sabrina, the woman who had been hurt. I was Sabrina, the woman who reclaimed control, strength, and dignity. The final stages of the plan were approaching. I had set the pieces in motion for a complete revelation, ensuring Saam and Stella could never return to the lies they had built. The consequences were coming, and I was ready to watch them unfold. After the confrontation, the house felt different. The same walls, the same furniture, the same quiet evenings. But everything felt heavier, like the air itself was filled with the truth that had finally come out. Saam barely spoke to me anymore. Stella avoided looking me in the eyes, but the silence between us said more than words ever could. They knew I knew, and for the first time since discovering their betrayal, I felt something strange. Not anger, not shock, just emptiness. For weeks I'd been running on adrenaline, gathering proof, watching their lies, planning the confrontation, controlling my emotions so they wouldn't suspect anything. But now that the truth was out, my body finally allowed itself to feel everything. And it hit me all at once. That night, I sat alone in my bedroom, the same room where Saam and I had once laughed together, where we had made plans about our future, where we talked about traveling, about buying a house, about building a life together. Now it felt like a museum of broken memories. I looked around and realized something painful. Every corner of this room reminded me of a lie, the framed photo of us smiling on the beach, the hoodie he left on my chair, the little notes he used to write for me. For years I believed those things meant love, But now, I wasn't sure what was real anymore. I remember picking up that photo frame and staring at it for a long time. Saam's arm was around me. I looked happy, completely unaware of what the future would bring. My chest tightened, and for the first time since everything happened, I cried. Not quiet tears, not controlled emotions, real, uncontrollable crying. The kind that shakes your entire body, the kind that makes you feel like your heart is breaking all over again. Because the truth is, no matter how strong you try to be, betrayal from the people you love hurts deeper than anything. I cried for the relationship I thought I had. I cried for the trust that was destroyed. I cried for the family bond that Stella had shattered. But most of all, I cried for the version of myself that believed everything was perfect. That version of Sabrina was gone now, and in her place was someone new, someone stronger, but also someone who had seen the darkest side of love. The next few days were strange. Saam tried to apologize. He knocked on my door once. His voice sounded nervous. "Sabrina, can we talk?" I remember sitting on my bed, staring at the door. Part of me wanted to open it. Part of me wanted to hear him explain. But another part of me knew something important. No explanation could fix what he had done. No apology could erase the betrayal. So I didn't open the door. And eventually, he walked away. Stella tried a different approach. She attempted to act like the victim. One afternoon, she came into the kitchen while I was making coffee. Her eyes were red like she had been crying. "Sabrina, please understand. Things just happened." I slowly turned towards her. For a moment, I studied her face. The same woman who had raised me, the same person I once trusted more than anyone. And suddenly, I realized something. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry she got caught. That realization made everything clear. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply looked at her and said something calm but firm. "You didn't just betray me as a daughter. You betrayed me as a woman." She didn't respond, because she knew I was right. And after that moment, Stella stopped trying to talk to me. The emotional pain didn't disappear overnight. Some nights were still difficult. Sometimes memories would suddenly appear in my mind. A joke Saam once told, a birthday we celebrated together, a moment when Stella hugged me and said she was proud of me. Every memory now had a shadow over it, but something inside me was slowly changing. The sadness was beginning to transform into clarity. I started focusing on myself again. I went to the gym. I spent time with friends. I took long walks just to clear my mind. For the first time in years, I wasn't thinking about what someone else wanted. I was thinking about what I wanted. And the answer was simple. I wanted peace. I wanted respect. And I wanted to rebuild my life without lies. One evening, while sitting on my balcony, watching the sunset, I realized something important. Saam and Stella had taken my trust, but they had also accidentally given me something. Freedom. Freedom from a relationship built on deception. Freedom from a family dynamic that was secretly toxic. Freedom to become a stronger version of myself. That realization felt powerful. For weeks, I had focused on exposing them. But now I started thinking about the next step. What would my life look like after all this? The answer slowly became clear. I didn't just want them to face consequences. I wanted to move forward, to rebuild my confidence, to show myself that betrayal cannot destroy someone who refuses to stay broken. And that's when the final stage of my plan started forming in my mind, because exposing their secret was only the beginning. Now it was time to take the final step, the step that would close this chapter of my life forever. Saam and Stella thought the worst was already over. They thought the confrontation at the dinner had been the peak of the storm. They believed that time would slowly make everything fade away. But they didn't understand something important. The truth had only just begun to surface, and the final reveal would change everything, because I had one last move left, one final truth that needed to be exposed. And when that moment came, Saam and Stella would finally understand something. You can betray someone's trust. You can break their heart. But you should never underestimate the strength of the person you betrayed. And I was ready. By the time I reached this point, my emotions had changed completely. At first there was shock, then heartbreak, then anger. But now, I felt something different. Control. For weeks, Saam and Stella had believed they were smarter than me. They believed their secret would stay hidden forever. Even after the dinner confrontation, they assumed the situation would slowly disappear. They thought time would fix everything, but I knew something they didn't. The truth had not fully come out yet, and when it did, it would change everything. I had spent days thinking carefully about my next step. This wasn't about screaming or arguing anymore. I didn't want dramatic fights in the living room. I didn't want emotional chaos. I wanted clarity. I wanted the truth to stand in front of everyone so clearly that Saam and Stella would never be able to escape it. And that meant one thing, the right moment. A week later, Stella announced that she wanted to host a small family gathering at the house. Birthdays, holidays, dinners, our family always had reasons to get together. Normally, I would have felt excited, but this time, I saw something else, an opportunity. The house slowly filled with familiar faces. My aunt and uncle arrived first, then my cousin Daniel, then a few close family friends who had known me since childhood. Everyone was laughing, talking, sharing stories. To them, it looked like a normal family evening, but to me, it felt like the final stage of a long game. Saam arrived late. When he walked in, his eyes briefly met mine. There was nervousness in his expression. Maybe he sensed something. Maybe guilt had finally started eating at him. Either way, he looked uncomfortable. And Stella, she avoided looking at me completely. Dinner went on as usual. Plates clinked. People laughed. Stories were shared. But inside my mind, I was counting the minutes, waiting for the right moment, the moment when the truth would finally take its final form. When dessert was served, I stood up. Everyone looked at me. At first, they probably thought I was about to make a toast, maybe a speech, maybe a joke. But what I said next changed the entire room. I want to show everyone something. My voice was calm, steady, confident. But inside my chest, my heart was beating fast. Not from fear, from anticipation. I picked up my phone. Then I connected it to the TV screen in the living room. The room grew quiet. Confused faces stared at me. Saam shifted nervously in his chair. Stella suddenly looked pale, because deep down, they already knew. The first image appeared on the screen, a screenshot of messages between Saam and Stella, flirty messages, private jokes, late-night conversations. The room fell silent. Someone whispered, "What is this?" A photo of Saam and Stella sitting close together at a cafe, his hand resting on hers. Too close, too intimate. Too obvious. Gasps filled the room, and then came the final image, the one that had started everything. The photo I took the night I saw them kissing in the living room, Saam leaning towards Stella, their lips meeting. The betrayal captured in a single moment. The silence in the room was overwhelming. Nobody spoke, nobody moved, everyone was staring at the screen. Then, slowly, their eyes moved towards Saam and Stella. Saam looked frozen. His face had lost all color. Stella's hands were shaking. For the first time since this whole story began, they had nowhere left to hide. My aunt stood up slowly. Her voice was quiet but sharp. "Is this real?" Saam opened his mouth, but no words came out. Because what could he possibly say? The evidence was right there. Stella suddenly tried to speak. Sabrina, please, this isn't what it looks like." I cut her off. For the first time since discovering the betrayal, my voice carried pure strength. "No, this is exactly what it looks like." I walked closer to the TV. Another screenshot appeared. More messages, more proof, more lies revealed. Every excuse they could have made was destroyed by the evidence. The room filled with tension. Family members whispered to each other. Some looked shocked, some looked angry, some looked disappointed, but every single person in that room understood one thing clearly. Saam and Stella had betrayed me. Saam finally tried to speak. "Sabrina, I made a mistake." I laughed softly. Not an angry laugh. Not a cruel laugh. Just a tired one. A mistake is forgetting someone's birthday. I looked directly at him. This was a choice. Then I turned towards Stella, the woman who had raised me, the woman who had once told me she would always protect me. "You weren't just my mother," I said quietly. "You were supposed to be my safe place." Her eyes filled with tears, but this time, I felt nothing. The truth had done its job. The illusion was gone. The lies were exposed, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something close to peace. One by one, family members began standing up. Some walked out in silence. Others shook their heads in disappointment. The atmosphere of the room had completely changed. The celebration was over. The truth had taken its place. Saam tried to approach me, but I stepped back. There's nothing left to say. My voice was calm, final. Then I walked toward the door. Before leaving, I looked back at the room one last time. Saam stood frozen. Stella sat silently in her chair, and everyone around them now knew the truth. For weeks, they had lived in a secret world of lies, but now that world had collapsed, and I was finally free from it. As I stepped outside into the cool night air, I took a deep breath for the first time in a long time. My chest didn't feel heavy. The truth had been spoken. Justice had been done, and the final chapter of this story was about to begin. Because sometimes revenge isn't about hurting someone. Sometimes, revenge is simply telling the truth. When I stepped outside that night, the cold air hit my face like a reset button. For weeks, my world had been filled with lies, betrayal, and emotional chaos. But in that moment, standing alone under the night sky, something inside me felt lighter. The truth had finally come out. And once the truth is spoken, there is no going back. I walked slowly down the street, my heels tapping against the quiet pavement. My mind replayed everything that had happened inside the house. The shocked faces, the silence, the undeniable evidence on the screen. For months, Saam and Stella had lived comfortably inside their secret. But secrets don't survive the light of truth. And tonight, that truth had destroyed everything they built. My phone vibrated in my hand. A message from Saam. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. I stared at the screen for a few seconds. A few weeks ago, seeing his name would have made my heart jump. But now, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just distance. I locked the phone and slipped it back into my pocket. Some chapters don't deserve another conversation. They deserve an ending. The next few days were quiet. Very quiet. The family group chat that used to buzz every day suddenly went silent. Nobody knew what to say, because what happened wasn't a small argument or misunderstanding. It was betrayal, and betrayal leaves scars. Eventually, the calls started coming. My aunt called first. Her voice sounded gentle but disappointed. Sabrina, I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that. Hearing those words made something inside my chest relax, because for the first time, people understood. They saw the truth, and they saw who had been hurt. Other family members reached out too. Some were angry at Saam. Others were furious at Stella, but almost everyone said the same thing. You were strong, Chul. At first, that word felt strange. Strong. I hadn't felt strong during those nights when I cried alone in my room. I hadn't felt strong when I first saw them kissing. I had felt broken. But maybe strength isn't about never breaking. Maybe strength is about what you do after. Saam tried contacting me several more times, calls, messages, even emails. Each one sounded more desperate than the last. Sabrina, please let me explain. Sabrina, I made a terrible mistake. Sabrina, we can fix this. But the truth was simple. Some things cannot be fixed. And trust, once destroyed like that, doesn't magically return. Stella didn't contact me at all. Not once. At first I wondered why. But then I realized something. She knew there was nothing she could say. Some betrayals are too deep for apologies. Some wounds are too personal for forgiveness. And this was one of them. A week later, I went back to the house to collect my remaining things. The place felt different. Quieter. Heavier. Almost like the walls themselves knew what had happened. Saam was there when I arrived. He looked tired. His eyes had dark circles under them. The confident man I once loved now looked like someone carrying a heavy weight. Sabrina, please. He took a step toward me. I never meant for things to go this far. I looked at him calmly. For a moment, I studied his face. The same face that once made me feel safe. The same face that had lied to me for months. Then I said something simple. You didn't mean for me to find out. He didn't respond. Because he knew I was right. I walked past him and began packing the last of my things. Clothes, books, a few personal items. Every object felt like a small goodbye. Not just to the house, but to the life I thought I had. Before leaving, Saam spoke again. His voice was quiet. Do you hate me? I paused for a moment, then I shook my head. No. He looked surprised. But I continued. I just don't need you anymore. Those words felt powerful, not angry, not cruel, just honest. And sometimes honesty is the strongest thing you can say. Outside the house, I placed the last box in my car. Then I sat in the driver's seat for a moment, taking it all in. The past 5 years of my life had ended inside that house, but strangely, I didn't feel lost. I felt free. Over the next few months, my life slowly began to change. I focused on myself, my work, my health, my happiness. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning my life around someone else. I was planning it around me. I started traveling more, small trips at first, a weekend by the ocean, a quiet mountain town, places where I could breathe, think, and rediscover who I was outside of that relationship. And with every new place I visited, I felt stronger, lighter, more confident. One afternoon, while sitting at a cafe during one of those trips, I caught my reflection in the window. For a moment, I barely recognized the woman looking back, not because she looked different, but because she looked stronger, calmer, wiser. The heartbreak had changed me, but it had also made me better. That's when I realized something important. Saam and Stella thought they had taken something from me, but they were wrong. They didn't take my strength, they didn't take my future, they didn't take my happiness. If anything, they gave me the opportunity to rebuild my life in a better way. And today, when I look back at everything that happened, I don't just see betrayal, I see transformation. The girl who once believed love meant trusting someone blindly is gone. In her place is someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who knows her worth. So if you're listening to my story and wondering what happened to the people who betrayed me, the answer is simple. They stayed in the past. And I move forward. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone. Sometimes the best revenge is building a better life without them. And my name is Sabrina. I'm 32 years old. And this is the story of how betrayal didn't break me. It made me stronger.